Follow us on the Twitch. Subscribe on the YouTube. Just go to 977ESPN.com. You get links to all of that stuff. And while you're at it, get the apps, both of the apps, both the Zone and the Blitz app, where you can find links to Zone 2 and Zone 3 and Zone 4 as well, all our alternate streaming channels for more great programming. Now, coming up on Friday night, Buckhorn will finish their regular season at Milton Frank Stadium against Grissom. Should we call him Grissom now? I'm looking at Grissom. Is he wearing a Kansas State Wildcats shirt? Or is this from some middle school that he coached at some particular point in time? He tells me in my ear it's Westminster. When did he coach at Westminster? Oh, did you? Okay, cool. Back in the infant stages of the development of Westminster as a football program. You know, Madison Academy is playing Westminster this week on Zone 2. That game... Westminster's, 6-3, I think, in that game? Stephen Glenn Laird will be on a call for that one. And Randolph is home against Fairview on Zone 3 with Austin Coletti and Drew DeArmond. All three of our teams will be in the playoffs beginning next week. As always, the Woody Anderson Ford North Alabama Scoreboard Show with Scott Tyson will begin on the Blitz at 8:30 and then move to the air after the Buckhorn game. Now, coming up in a few minutes, we'll head to the Plains with Justin Ferguson of the Auburn Observer. We'll get his thoughts on the Tigers heading into the Arkansas game with a chance to flip the script on the season now. I mean, look, Auburn's got 4 conference games left, right? They're 0-4 in the conference. They got 4 conference games left. They're home against Arkansas and Texas A&M. They're on the road in Starkville and Tuscaloosa. Can they split those games? Can they win any of those games? Can they win all those games? Talk to Justin Ferguson about all of that. At the top of the 11, former Ole Miss and Saints quarterback John Forcade joins us from New Orleans, where he covers LSU. We'll get his thoughts on the resurgent Tigers team, plus on Ole Miss, his alma mater, and maybe the Saints as well. I mean, will the Saints, will they try and get Sean Payton to return before he moves on to someplace else? I mean, the Saints are, 2-5 now? Would they try and get Sean Payton to return? Because he sounds like he's going to go back, maybe as soon as next year. But how many jobs are even going to be open? I mean, think about that. Most of the bad teams have first or second year coaches. I mean, would Pete Carroll retire? Pete Carroll's the oldest coach in the NFL. He's 70 years old. That's not a bad gig up there. But I don't know, would the Lions pull the trigger on Dan Campbell after 2 years if the Lions win 2 or 3 games this season? I think the Lions are better than that in terms of what they're going to actually win. Could Cliff Kingsbury be in trouble if the Cardinals flame out, which I don't think they will? I think they're still an 8 or 9 win team type of team. What about Ron Rivera in Washington? He just got a big win against Green Bay, but it seems like he's kind of fed up with trying to turn that thing around. I'm not sure there are a lot of appealing options for Sean Payton. Who am I missing? What jobs are going to open up next year? What am I missing? Is Kevin Stefanski going to get fired in Cleveland? No. They're going to give him a full year with Deshaun Watson, and he made them relevant. I mean, they were 1-31 when he got there. Well, not quite, but you know what I'm saying. All right, over there in the little glass booth with the slanted ceiling, playing the platters that matter and the stacks of wax and manning the phones and keeping us on the air, it's the one and the only former Westminster Christian assistant coach, DJ Grizzy Grizz.
Who in the blue hell are you? What is your name? It doesn't matter what your name is.
I'm the producer of this show. If I didn't step up, you're nowhere. I put this thing together out of spit and polish.
I mean, this is ridiculous. It's a radio show. It ain't a 1-hour television spectacular.
I think this is one of the traits of a really good producer. Keep the talent happy.
I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew.
Now, Thom. Hey, Thom.
He may be the smartest person that I've ever met.
Testosterone high today.
What's that?
Testosterone, whatever the it is.
Testosterone?
Testosterone.
I wake up in the morning, I piss excellence.
It really doesn't matter what you think. All right? It really doesn't matter what you say.
When does the interrogation start, Chris? I feel like I'm like in a sweat room here.
I know, right? No, I mean, it does look nice and bright in there.
What does it?
I got kind of blinded a little bit. I mean, it does. It actually does look really good. We do need to move the camera a little bit, but yeah, no, I like it. I like the new additions. I do like the new cameras. The new cameras do look good on the stream. They do kind of move. We're moving really well, so we're moving along. Everything's looking professional. You know?
I was surprised that anything was. We're kind of beta testing right now.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So we're just kind of doing stuff, and I didn't think actually that we were going to do any of this until it was all done. You know what I mean? I didn't know we were going to just start using this stuff.
By the way, this is Westminster, and I did coach there with Coach Weber. It was just him and I. Dominated. We were really good. First time, I think it was the second time we ever beat Madison Academy as a team, and then also
this is varsity.
No, this was 8th and 9th grade.
Oh,
and then but I mean in their history, and then of course I have to give a lot of credit to and just thanks to Coach Louis LeBlanc for letting me coach. He's a great dude. Coached, as a grad assistant under Saban, and I mean he does a great job over there at Westminster, and continues to make a really quality.
I didn't know
program.
they were big enough to have an 8th and 9th grade program.
Yeah, no, they
did.
do.
They have JV and varsity then too?
Yeah, no, they do. And
no, I know they do now.
Yeah.
Did they then?
No, yeah, no, they did.
So it wasn't at the beginning like they didn't start with 8th and 9th and then they moved on.
No, so what they did is we had like 5 freshmen play basically offensive line for us, and then everybody else was either 7th or 8th grade, and so we played Priceville. We played Ardmore. We were supposed to play JP2 twice, but we never did. We were supposed to play Randolph twice, I believe, and we only played them once.
Right.
And then we played Madison Academy, I believe, only once. But we played Madison Academy and beat them. I think it was the second time in their program's history they'd ever beaten them. And then we beat Randolph, and then Randolph kind of chickened out and didn't play us the second time.
Ooh.
So they didn't play us.
Fighting words there.
Yeah, they didn't play us the second time. So who knows what would happen the second time we played.
Do they have a chance against Madison Academy this week though? I mean, no, Madison Academy is now 3A.
Yeah,
that's garbage. I mean, Madison Academy shouldn't be 3A, and when Westminster is 4A.
Yeah,
Madison Academy should be playing 4A ball. That's a 4A team playing 3A right now, at least. It's like a 5A team playing 3A.
I really think it could go either way, to be honest.
Really?
With you. Yeah. Seriously.
Look, I love the folks at Westminster.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you right now,
Madison. Because I'm wearing it.
Madison Academy's going to win that game by 3 touchdowns, minimum.
All right, I'll take Westminster and the points.
I'll make the line 16. So it's Westminster plus 16 and a hook.
Yeah,
and a hook. Got to have the hook.
Definitely. I'm taking it all day.
Can we put
action on calling him.
We can't put action on a Christian school, can we?
I don't know if we should say that. We're going to be calling him Friday night.
Oh, are you? Which one?
LeBlanc, Louis.
Well, what if,
or at least if they cover.
If they cover.
We'll be calling Godsey.
Call them if they cover. All right. Lots of things to get to on the show today. If you want to jump in, you can do it right now, 256-576-4977. What's interesting, are you using one of the new cameras too? That looks beautiful over there. Hey, look who's calling me.
Is it Wes?
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew it.
Yeah, call me during the show.
What are y'all talking about? We're talking about gambling on high school games.
No, he's not even listening. If he was listening, he wouldn't call.
That's true.
If he wanted to go on the air, he'd call there. He doesn't listen. I don't think he likes my show. I don't think he's a fan. We do pretty good.
I haven't heard anything.
We have a lot of fans and stuff of the show, and I've been on for a long time, but I don't think Wes likes the show, is what it is.
Speaking of fans.
I don't think he's into it. Because if he was into it, he'd know what time I was on. I don't think he knows. So that camera looks great over there. I'm looking at it now. That camera looks great on you. We still have a lot of dead spots. We're beta testing. With this lighting and stuff in here, on my side, it looks like we're a lot of dead stuff. But it is moving well.
Maybe we dim the other lights over here. We keep these lights on.
No, I think it has to be.
Maybe I need a light in here, too.
Here's the thing.
It'll be really hot.
It has to be. No. These aren't hot. These are cool lights. These are all LEDs.
Oh, that's good.
So they won't be hot. The idea was I think that we would have one in there. But there's a lot of things that will be getting done, but there's a certain way that you set it up. I think Scott was just screwing around this morning. You know what it was? It was Scott's birthday yesterday. So he just decided to start screwing around this morning I think, and he was just playing around with it a little bit.
I heard he was enjoying it this morning.
There's a way to do
he was
it.
enjoying all of the fancy lights. There we go.
There's a way to do it where you, like with light meters and things like that, and you know how you get it right. But you know, the bottom line is this: we are not sparing the expense. That's for sure. You know that's for sure. All right, let's get to the lines. Give me Wolverine Dan. Wolverine Dan, welcome to the show. How are you?
Quite well, my friend. I got a couple questions about the Bama game, and then I want to talk about my Michigan Wolverine. That game I was watching it, the coach from Mississippi State, what was he thinking when it comes to going on fourth down when he was in his side of the field, and then he wouldn't make a fourth down, and then Alabama had perfect field position, and he easily could at least kick the field goal, and they scored every time he did that.
Yeah.
And then we got close enough to kick a field goal. He didn't kick one. He doesn't have a kicker, or he's not a good kicker.
No, it's panicking. It's thinking it's analytics, and sometimes you just need to take the points. And these guys overthink it a little bit, and they panic, and they think, I've got to score a touchdown every time. That's my only chance to stay in the game. I agree with you. I thought they should have kicked. No doubt about it.
Well, yeah, because they only scored 30 points, correct?
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't going to make a difference ultimately, but it's still you change the narrative of the game. You know, when you can score a little bit of points, and you know you get on the board, you give your team some confidence, you calm down. You know what I mean? Who knows if Alabama starts gripping a little bit? You know, all of a sudden they're down 3-0. No, you take the points early on. I think you should take the points.
Well, I would have done it just because of the. I know they scored a lot of points last week. Or I should say the previous week against Tennessee, but, that was a loss, and, that was on their mind. So if you could put up any kind of point, maybe you might tighten them up a little bit.
Right.
Well, okay, whatever. Hey, listen, let's talk about my Michigan Wolverines. Hey, listen, I'm excited. We're playing Little Brother, all right, the B team, and I think we should have a problem with this, all right. I think the Illinois game with Bielema. I think that's the game I got to worry about because he's got this team playing really well, and that's the game before the big game. And the way Ohio State's playing, Tom, I don't know, dude. Their offense is just unbelievable.
Yeah.
Talented. They can score to blow their nose. They score. I don't know, dude.
Let's see what happens at Penn State. I mean, we'll see what happens this week at Penn State if Penn State gives them any pause. And you better blow away Michigan State. You need to pound them.
Yeah, I understand. That's what Ohio State's doing is pound.
Right.
Oh, and one more thing. I'm hanging out with Stan and Dan. We're in the truck, long driving around, Tom.
All right. Hey, Stan.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Good stuff, man.
See you later, brother.
Appreciate you.
That's the third time I called you with Stan. He's a junkyard dog now, isn't he?
No, he's got to make his own calls, and he's got to make sense.
I'll play by the rules.
All right, Stan. Appreciate you.
All right. See you later.
You did something to my mic, didn't you? It was hot as hell. Did you do something? Did somebody call you and say, hey, Tom's mic is too hot? Really? Okay. You saw that it was hot.
Yeah.
I noticed in my ears, I was like, I kept turning things down. I was like, what the heck is going on? Why am I blowing my ears up? And then all of a sudden I noticed I was a little...
No, you're fine.
Okay.
You're okay.
I'm not redlining, right?
See, and it's not loud when I'm doing it right here.
Not now.
I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah.
Even
Well, that's what I kept
talking.
looking at. I'm like, am I redlining this thing or what? Do I need to pull it back? And then all of a sudden
that thing's
it went down.
always hot, it seems like.
Yeah.
That board in there, it seems like it's always up.
So get this. The JYB went into last night trailing Grumpy by 3 points. And
Tough.
she had the New England defense against the worst offense in the league in Chicago, right?
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden Chicago turns into, the second coming of the Rams or something. I don't know. They're going up and down the field. So she, at one point in time, they get the interception and she moves way ahead. But then Chicago scores. They score again. They score again. You get down to the last drive for Chicago, and she's up by 1 point over Grumpy. And if they kick the field goal or pump it in there at the end when they're taking a knee, Grumpy's going to win. Team 10 gave Grumpy his first loss of the season. She took him down. And she took him down on the – yeah. And she didn't take him down with the defense. She took him down with Andy Dalton on Thursday night.
That's ridiculous.
Andy freaking Dalton on
And
Thursday
I had Daniel
night.
Jones with 30 on my bench, and I could have beat Kramer.
Oh.
I could have beat Kramer, and I lost.
God, you lost again?
Yeah, I'm really bad. My team is just awful, man. Jared Goff had 1 point. He fumbled at the goal line. Wolverine Dan's team can't even – I mean, they can't win. And they fumbled at the goal line. They should have scored and won. And then the Lions would have been – I would have had some points. I would have 8 points.
I beat Smokey Mike by 60. 60.
I
beat
won,
him before my quarterback played. I beat him.
I won in other leagues that I care about, but the radio station league, I'm like 2-6.
So now me, the JYB, and Grumpy are 6-1 in our league. Give me Grumpy. Grumpy, welcome to the show. How are you?
Oh, pretty good. What was Red Fox's ex-wife, his deceased wife's name when he would grab his heart?
I'm coming.
Elizabeth.
Elizabeth.
I'm coming, Elizabeth.
I'm coming, Elizabeth.
Yeah, I was doing that last night. I was like, ah. But, yeah,
funny.
she beat me, man. Yeah, she beat me.
Yeah.
But that was good, man. That if it wasn't for fantasy football, which I used to make fun of, I wouldn't, the games would be nothing, really. To me, to a lot of people.
I was not. Yeah, no. Fantasy football is one of the big drivers with the NFL. Yeah. There's no doubt about it, and the gambling aspect of it. But I was not at all interested in that game last night. I'll be totally honest with you. And I kept checking back in on it because of because of her team going against your team. But I will say this: the Fields kid played his best game of his short career. I mean, he looked like, and I would not be nervous if you're a Mac Jones fan. Look, Bailey Zappi is not taking Mac Jones' spot. Mac Jones wasn't ready to play yet. Bailey Zappi will not be taking Mac's spot.
There was a busted coverage and a great catch into double coverage. But hey, I wanted to congratulate Dan. He got through a call without talking about cookies or sweeping his garage or his blood work.
Or his triglycerides. Yeah, he didn't even give us the numbers from his
When is his next doctor's appointment?
I don't know. Mine's tomorrow, but I won't tell you about it. But I have my annual physical tomorrow.
Can you drink caffeine with that pacemaker?
Oh yeah. My cardiologist tells me that coffee is a miracle food. He said no more than 2 cups a day, but he tells me that coffee is a miracle food that is one of the healthiest foods on the planet, and he tells me 2 cups of coffee a day is good for me. So,
hey, Philip, I love the Philip. He's your best caller, but this is what it feels like right now, Philip, if you're on hold, which you probably are, listening to someone else talk incessantly on the radio while you're waiting. This is what it feels like, Philip. Hey, I got a technical question. On you guys, I've run a business before, and no matter what you do, people want more. You got a couple of apps. I'll get the second one. But on your podcast, how come there's only one show on one episode, and then the next day that episode goes off? So if you miss the show, you better listen to it that day, or it's gone forever.
No, that's not true, is it, Chris? But you can listen to my shows. No. My shows are on there one after the other. Grizz, explain this because you're the one that does this.
Yeah, I've had the app. I've worked the app.
Are you talking about on the app or are you talking about online?
The downloaded app.
So on the app, you can only get one. You can only get one show at a time.
I will that way the whole time.
You know what? We got to. Is he right? All right, we got a staff meeting coming up next. I'm making a note right now on that to answer that question because we shouldn't have
on the website. Obviously, it's like how we set it up, how you put it into the website. It's obviously one episode, and it changes obviously every day at 10 o'clock, or not technically 10 o'clock, but at noon, usually at noon or whenever the show ends. And so then you can obviously go to our SoundCloud page and you can listen to that immediately. That's where it is immediately. But there should be a way we should be able to get to it from here, and I don't handle that, but I can get on that.
But you put them up. Okay, I just put it in our notes for today's meeting. Archived shows on app. Yeah. Okay. Thank you for the heads up on it. I assume that anything that happens at the website happens at the app, but apparently not.
All right, thanks, man. Have a good one.
Appreciate you. So you keep saying that about the SoundCloud thing. People don't go to our SoundCloud thing. They don't know nothing about SoundCloud.
They should.
They don't.
I mean, that's our podcast.
No, our podcast to them, our podcast is at our site. See,
I
that's too
understand that.
sophisticated.
I understand that, but
They don't want to know about SoundCloud. They want to know about iTunes.
I see the listens. I know where our listens are.
Aren't they at other places though? Aren't they at iTunes and stuff like that?
Yeah.
And would they be able to get past shows at iTunes?
I'm not sure on that.
We don't want them to go.
I have an Android.
Theoretically, though, we want them to simply be able to get it at our app and at our website. We don't even want them to have to know about SoundCloud. Really, that's just a service for us. But we want them to be able to get it. So we'll try and fix that. Thanks for the question. All right, let me get Philip in. Philip, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Are you kidding me?
Okay.
I love hearing people talk about how wonderful I am. That's more fun than hearing me talk.
It's like you saying, enough about me. What do you think of me?
Remember the remote in Nashville?
Yeah.
How many autographs did I freaking sign?
Oh, I don't know.
I mean,
I was doing a show.
It was amazing.
You're like Wolverine Dan. That's how Dan is. Well, not quite. I don't know about signing autographs, but you're like Wolverine Dan. I mean, you became a legend through all the talk shows.
Yeah. Anyway, reason I called, kind of off topic. I've not even heard you discuss this, but now it'll become
kind of off topic. When have you ever been on topic? You just make up your own topics. You're just doing your own show.
I know. I wish I could, but in my health condition, that's what I do need to be doing. But I digress. These freaking NFL officials, that caught red-handed with the whole autograph.
Oh my gosh. You kidding me with that story?
What I'm hearing from, talking heads on ESPN and whatnot is kind of how ridiculous this is, and it's no big deal. And it reminds me of Jameis Winston when he stole the crab legs from Publix grocery store. That's no big deal. They're crab legs. What are people? These are officials. It is against not the law, like criminal law. They know that that is a violation. They are not allowed to do that. It's not just something that no one's ever seen before and, maybe we should do something. They signed a contract that they're not allowed to do it.
Let me tell you something. In the media, we have the same thing. In the media, we're not allowed to ask for a autograph or signature from anybody in the locker room or anybody you're around. Whenever it says right on your media pass, no autographs. So but every once in a while you'll see some young guy, trying to get some sort of an autograph or something like that. But this is a bad look. And look, if you want to get a player to sign something for a charity event that you're doing, that's fine. What you do is you contact them through the team at a later date, not in the freaking tunnel when the player's coming off the field.
Exactly. And you nailed it. So if they're willing to do that on camera, imagine what they're doing off camera.
Yeah. Actually, I don't even think they're allowed to do that off. I say that now,
I know,
but I don't even think they're allowed to ask. I don't even think that they're allowed to ask a player through the team, to do anything. I don't think the officials can have any kind of contact at all, social contact at all like that with players.
Exactly. They have a form that they can go through for that. But I'm not talking about autographs when I say they did this on camera. Imagine what they're doing off of camera.
Right.
I mean, I'm telling you, Tom, gambling, fantasy football, I think is the dumbest thing on the face of the earth, and it's just about ruined sports, in my opinion. The whole gambling thing coming in now, dude, this is not a good look. This is not a good look.
Well,
Pete Rose is still not in the Hall of Fame, but yet gambling is the major contributor to Major League Baseball these days.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Or that's their main advertisement.
Yeah.
Things are getting screwed up, man. I don't like it.
It's different. We're the last ones to jump on board. Thanks for the call, Philip. I appreciate it. It's a good job by you. We are the last ones to get on board with that. I mean, they've been gambling in Europe on sports. You know, you just have to regulate the crap out of it and make sure, that there isn't something untoward going on. Look, we know it's been happening anyway, right? It's been going on. It's a $1 billion industry anyway. It's better for it to be in the light than it to be in the shadows and have all this illegal gambling, offshore gambling, people not getting their money, going down and seeing Louis at the corner bar and it's not squaring up and getting your pinky finger broke and things like that. It's better than that, okay? So, just keep that in mind. All right, let's get a break. When we come back, Justin Ferguson is up next right here on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
A wise man once said, if you take care of old folks and children, everything in the middle will take care of itself.
Hi, I'm Danny Aldridge, lawyer in Alabama and Tennessee. In the next 20 years, the number of those folks over 65 years of age will more than double. In our golden years, the most important goal is to be treated with dignity and have control over doing what makes you grateful with those you love. At the Aldridge Law Firm and the Legal Town Center, we're dedicated to help you with these goals, and we'll be there when life throws you those inevitable curveballs. Let us assist you with your legal needs, whatever they may be or become. You may reach us by phone at 256-534-3188 or online with Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Just remember, we're here to help. Whether it's personal injury, wrongful death, fraud and cheat, or estate planning made complete, we're here to help.
This is Wes Neighbors with Phillip with Eagle Insulation, and we have an announcement to make.
Yes, Wes, we are now Eagle Masonry and Insulation. We're still a place to call for your insulation needs, but now we offer masonry services.
What kind of masonry projects can you handle?
Wes, no job is too big, no job is too small. We can do renovations, new construction, outdoor fireplaces, fire pits, brick landscape borders.
Well, when you came out to my house, you did both the insulation and masonry at the same time. You guys did rock for me, you did brick for me, and you insulated my house. That's usually done at the same time that you're building a house.
Absolutely. It really capitalizes on two services you need at the same time, and you can get one company to handle both of those.
Phillip with Eagle Insulation will come out, do your installation. He'll do your masonry. They do a great job. They guarantee your work. Check out more online at insulatedwitheagle.com and schedule your free examination today. 256-755-1556.
Thanks, Wes.
At Mr. Sparky, we're America's on-time electrician. Flickering lights and hot switches can be annoying, but they can also signal a major problem, or worse, an electrical emergency. So play it safe and leave it to the experts at Mr. Sparky. Trust our team of professional, clean, and friendly electricians. We'll get it done right and get it done safely.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in the respective state or county.
Thom Abraham here for my friend Brian Hamaker and his team at North Alabama Mortgage. Look, buying a home is the biggest purchase you will make in your life, and it can be a bit intimidating, so you want people that can help walk you through the mortgage process and get you the best deal possible. That's what North Alabama Mortgage does, and they do it in Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida, from first-time purchases to refis, conventional, VA, FHA, and USDA loans. They have the solution at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
This is Steve Moulton from The Drive. Be sure and join us today from 5 to 7 with Wes Neighbors and me. Now back to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Welcome back, Thom Abraham Show. It's a Top 10 Tuesday in the Doghouse. We'll get to that a little bit later on. Auburn is back on the field preparing for a home game against Arkansas. They are 4-point underdogs in that game, and they have 2 home games left, 2 road games left in the SEC. And joining us now to talk about the direction that this team can take down the stretch is Justin Ferguson. He is on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Ferg, welcome back. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you, Tom?
I am fantastic. Before we get to the last 4, SEC games for Auburn, I want to get your reaction to the continued great play by Bo Nix and the fact that he now, what's he thrown? 17 touchdowns and just 3 interceptions, over 1,700 yards, and 2 of those 3 interceptions were opening day against Georgia. And he just looks like a completely different cat. Now, they give him a lot of time to throw. He hasn't gotten heated up the way he got heated up a lot in the SEC, and you can attribute that to either the defenses of the SEC or the offensive line of Auburn over the last few years. But when you see this and you look at what Dan Lanning is doing, is there anything you can point to that Lanning might be doing with Bo Nix that either Gus or Brian Harsin could not do with him, especially when you see the way Auburn is struggling with quarterback play this year?
No, I think it comes down to the fact that he's playing behind a really good offensive line, and he's playing in a conference where he's not facing SEC defenses on a regular basis. Now, I say that not to take anything away from what Bo's done. And Bo, you got to remember, before he got hurt last season, he was playing the best ball of his career at Auburn. He had a great month of October. Struggled against Texas A&M, but then that Mississippi State game where he went down, he had one of the best games of his career. So Bo was on an upswing, and he was starting to really figure some things out. And I thought he was figuring some things out and getting better under Brian Harsin and Mike Bobo. But in the end, he made the best decision for himself and goes to play with a team with a better offensive line situation, weaker competition. I don't think that was part of the calculation for him, but also it's just like he was going to get a bigger chance to shine out there where Auburn was going clearly in a different direction. With the way the program is for one more year, he decides to go to Oregon. So I think it's a product that he's playing behind an awesome offensive line, which he wouldn't have done at Auburn. And I think the defenses he's facing in the Pac-12 just aren't the same as they were in the SEC. But he's been able to use that to his advantage, where he's playing lesser quality defenses week in and week out, and he's really getting to show, kind of what he learned and how he developed at Auburn. So he made the best decision for himself, and it's paid off in a big way. And I'm really looking forward to seeing, what the NFL thinks of him.
His physical talents have really been on display now. You're seeing, because we had seen it from time to time at Auburn, certainly. The thing that struck me in watching that game and the parts of that game that I watched was his accuracy on the deep balls down the field. Because remember, at Auburn, he was always over. He never. It seemed like he hardly ever hit the deep ball. He was always overthrowing his guys badly. And there, he just seems to sit in that pocket and drop it right on those guys.
Yeah, he's got a lot more comfort in that pocket. I think he trusts his protection more. Why shouldn't he? I think Oregon's got one of the best offensive lines in the country this year. And it makes a huge difference. I think at Auburn, no matter who the offensive line was in front of him, I don't know if he ever felt super comfortable on a regular basis. And so it, kind of hurried him up a little too much and got him out of his mechanics, got him out of his style. So, I think Oregon has given him the protection that he needs, and I think it's the opportunity. And he just looks like a different quarterback. I don't know if I think he improved. I think if he'd have stayed at Auburn, you'd have seen a better Bo Nix this year. I don't think you would have seen this good a one because of the competition and because of the offensive line. But like I said, he was on an upswing before he got hurt last season, so it doesn't surprise me at all to see him kind of keep it going and take a massive jump at a place like Oregon.
Yeah, and we had John Samuel Schenker on yesterday, and he intimated that there was a lot of pressure on Bo Nix at Auburn, of course, being a legacy and all of that kind of stuff. But on the other hand, this is all he ever wanted to do was be an Auburn Tiger. I mean, he was a huge Auburn fan, and he was playing at his, you'd think it would be his dream school and everything else, and I believe it was. But I wonder if that was part of the. I mean, was there an incredible amount of pressure on him from folks around the state to think that he was going to be, a Heisman Trophy winner, a national champion, those types of things at Auburn, and he went about as far away as you can go. I mean, I guess he could have went to Hawaii, but he goes just about as far away as you can get away from the plains. I wonder how much of that is in play.
Yeah, I think that was some of it as well. He definitely faced a lot of pressure and a lot of scrutiny during his time at Auburn because he wasn't what people thought he should have been. As a 5-star quarterback and with a lot of hype around him, and I think that's unfair. I think you don't do it on your own if you're a quarterback, and so he definitely got into a situation where he could get away from that and kind of reinvent himself and kind of reset. And I also think the big factor is, Kenny Dillingham's at Oregon, and that's a guy that he is familiar with because that was his offensive coordinator when he was a freshman. I think that made it really, really appealing. He could have gone to a lot of different places. I think Oregon surprised a lot of people because it's so far away. But I think the Dillingham connection ended up proving to be a pretty big one.
Justin Ferguson with us here on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, talking some Auburn football. All right, so Arkansas comes in this week. They have been spotty. Sometimes they look like world beaters. I thought at one point they were the second best team in the SEC West. They are not. They're probably middle of the pack in the SEC West. And they'll also get Texas A&M, which is a hot mess, coming in as well. Trips to Starkville, and they can beat that Mississippi State team, I think, that played at Alabama last week. But they've looked really good at times as well. And then, of course, the Iron Bowl. What are the, as you look at this right now, what are the odds, what are the chances that they can split these Final Four games? Are they looking to get one win? Can they win 3 of them? I mean, what's your take?
I think they can win one of them. I think 2 would be really, really tough. And it's not to have anything to do with the fact that these teams are just far and away better than Auburn. I think A&M and State and Arkansas definitely have their flaws. Alabama does too, but they're but ahead. And, that game's going to be in Tuscaloosa. But if you look at those 3 games right there, individually you could see Auburn winning any of them, but it's just going to be tough because this team just has not been consistent this year. Last time out they played, they run all over Ole Miss, but they have one of their worst defensive games of the season. And it just feels like they can't get on the same page where they have the offense clicking and the defense clicking at the same time. They just haven't had that at any point this year. And it's like, with 4 games left in SEC play, when is that going to happen? How much is the off week going to be good for them? How much of it was a reset? This team still has a lot of flaws and a lot of issues, a lot of inconsistency, especially with your quarterback play. The run defense has been really, really rough this season. And you look at it, Arkansas runs the ball more than any team that's not a service academy in college football. That's going to be a really big challenge. And you look at Mississippi State and some of what they can do on offense and how they can kind of light it up. You worry about that game because it's on the road. And you look at Texas A&M and it's like, yeah, A&M's a mess on offense, but they've got a pretty good defense. So it's really, really tough to see. You can say these 3 games are going to be toss-up games. I think these 3 games are going to be like, projected to be within a possession or something like that on the point spread. But it's hard to pick Auburn as the favorite in any of them, just because this team just is so inconsistent. If they get something figured out and something working and clicking, the other thing, something else pops up and it just becomes an even bigger issue. So it's just hard for me to buy into this team because I just haven't seen it happen, through 7 games yet.
And they've got to figure out a way to win. I would say they got to win 2 of them. They got to go 2-4 or 2-2 in the remaining SEC schedule and beat Western Kentucky to be bowl eligible, get that 6th win. Does it matter, do you think? I mean, do you think that based on where they're at right now and based on what they look like after 3 straight losses and 4 in the last 5, do you think that making a Birmingham Bowl or something along those lines even matters, or do you think it'll be time to blow the whole thing up no matter what?
It would be tough. I mean, I think if you're talking about a far off scenario where you see where Auburn feels comfortable moving ahead with this coaching staff, I think you're probably looking at a scenario where they win those 3 games against State and A&M and Arkansas, and be really competitive away from home in the Iron Bowl, which is something they hadn't done in almost 10 years. When it comes to playing road games in Bryant-Denny. At that point you would be, you would be 7-5, and you would be a little improved from where you were last season in the regular season. Your recruiting's still not awesome, but that's the only scenario for me where I see okay, this is where you could potentially see maybe you get another year, maybe you get some more time, and I think it's got to be, last year you finished the regular season at 6-6 and you were competitive with Alabama. I think you need to be at least 7-5 to get in that point. So it's tough. It's tough to see that happening. So and you got to also keep in mind is even if you were right at where you were last year record wise, look at what you're doing in your roster. Your recruiting is still among the worst in the SEC at the moment. You're lagging behind where you should be consistently, and there's not going to be a ton of time for that to turn around. So I think that all has to be kind of put together. So it's going to take a miracle. I think it's going to take Auburn really catching fire after the bye week. And like I said, each of those 3 games that we talked about, you could see scenarios where Auburn wins those games, but hitting on all of them, I think is really tough because it's just one of the most inconsistent teams we've seen in a while.
I think something that's going to be fascinating is, this week it's Arkansas at home. Next week, Arkansas goes back home and they play Liberty. Liberty just came off a beating of BYU, a team that was pretty highly thought of, not too long ago, and they beat the snot out of BYU at home. Liberty 7-1. The one loss is a 1-point loss to Wake Forest, which isn't which don't suck either. You just wonder how many Auburn fans are just kind of continuing to monitor Liberty and with that eye on Hugh Freeze, whether or not he is toxic or not, whether or not he, the shine was off that a little bit last year when they lost 5 games, but all of a sudden here he is, 7-1. One small loss at Wake Forest on the road, and they just beat a pretty decent BYU team and beat them to death. I think a lot of people are going to be watching that game next week to see what that looks like when they go to Arkansas.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that unfolds. I mean, I don't really know where Auburn stands on Hugh Freeze because Auburn doesn't have an athletic director at this point. So it'd be interesting to see what the I think it would depend on who's in charge and kind of their opinions and their it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see because you're right. Nobody was really talking about Hugh Freeze until rather recently. He'll have an opportunity to get on a lot of people's radar again next week if they do go into Fayetteville and beat Arkansas. It'd be really, really tough, but it'll definitely be something that people will keep an eye on. And I don't think just at Auburn either. I think I can really see him, I could really see just kind of the Hugh Freeze hype machine kind of rack up for any of these jobs that are going to be open. Because, I mean, it's not just, it's not just Auburn. There are several teams I think, makes it. It's interesting. I think Georgia Tech would be something where you'd at least look at and be like, in the South and that is so. It'd be interesting to see, but I know a lot of people will connect him with Auburn just because of the SEC history.
Yeah, I wouldn't want him anywhere near my team. I'm just saying, but the fans, that this is going to start heating up if he play. They don't even have to beat him; they got to just play well against Arkansas, and then the folks are going to be saying, "My God, he's doing that with a bunch of 2- and 3-star kids." I mean, you kidding me? All right, as always, I appreciate you. Great stuff. Check them out. The Auburn Observer has everything that you possibly want to know about Auburn, and they got great podcasts as well, and it's extremely affordable. It's the Auburn Observer, getting ready for basketball season as well there. Check it out. Justin Ferguson has been our guest. Ferg, I appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you, Tom.
All right, we'll get a break in here. We'll come back and set you up for hour number 2 next, right here on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Hi, this is Wes Neighbors. I'm here with Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Sam, tell the folks about Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Hey Wes, our company Fleming Roofing and Restoration specializes in commercial and residential roofing and repairs. I'm a fifth generation Huntsvillian, and our family's been doing construction business in Huntsville area since 1965.
Sam, what kind of roofs does Fleming Roofing and Restoration do?
Our guys are skilled enough. We can come out and address any kind of leaks or issues you might have on your commercial, on your metal roofing, on your shingles. We can do anything, and we can offer you a solution to repair it, or we can replace it.
Well, you guys also do insurance restoration.
Our staff has 10 plus years of experience as insurance adjusters, and we really do know the inside and out of the claims process at Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Check out Fleming Roofing and Restoration online at FlemingHSV.com, or you can call or text them at 256-651-9440.
Hey Wes, we show up.
TOC Sports has been there for you. Now, you're probably asking yourself, what does that mean? It means for more than 20 years, Alabama's largest orthopedic group has been there providing coverage and care to more schools and student athletes in the Tennessee Valley than any other group. It means whether you are the star football player, the all-region volleyball ace, or someone who hurt their knee in a weekend pickup basketball game, TOC Sports physicians are proud to have the opportunity to care for all your orthopedic needs. It means for parents, coaches, athletes, desk jockeys, or even weekend warriors, TOC Sports physicians continue to meet and exceed the orthopedic and sports medicine needs of our community. But most importantly, during these challenging times, we're here for you now, and will continue to be here. So as long as there are players on the field, games to be played, and contests to be won, the orthopedic specialists from TOC Sports will be ready to help. We don't know what the future holds, but you can count on the TOC Sports team to stay committed to you, so you can stay in the game. Call 256-539-2728 today and ask to see a TOC Sports physician. Check them out online, also Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-306-8158 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-306-8158. That's 800-306-8158. What do you have to lose? Call 800-306-8158. Again, 800-306-8158.
Men, are you having performance issues in the bedroom? Is erectile dysfunction affecting your confidence and self-esteem? Is your relationship being impacted? If ED is a problem in your life, maybe it's time to make the last time you had bad sex the last time you'll have bad sex. At the Huntsville Men's Clinic, we've successfully treated many men in the area for ED and given them back their confidence, their positivity, and in many cases, helped their relationships. Our expertise is second to none, and our practice is staffed by quality medical professionals. Beyond this, the treatments we use have proven success rates as high as 90%. And unlike online pharmacies that just sell pills or wave clinics that only offer one treatment option, we have a variety of treatment protocols, including acoustic wave therapy. We found that sometimes a combination of therapies works best, and a one-size-fits-all approach can't get you there. So make the call. Your initial appointment is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. Call 256-368-0333 or go to HuntsvilleMen'sClinic.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, whether you want to believe it or not, the holidays are upon us. It is time to start thinking about the important things like, hey, what's on the menu this year? It is time to pre-order your honey glazed ham or turkey from Apple Lane. Let's get honey glazed for the holidays and make the holidays even sweeter with our award-winning banana pudding.
That's right.
Let us help make this year's holiday just so much easier. Apple Lane, come see us in Decatur, Alabama on the Beltline.
Hey there, folks. Head fry cook Bob Baumhauer here, and I just want to say thank you for allowing Baumhauer's Victory Grill to serve you for 40 legendary years. When I first delivered Alabama's first taste of buffalo wings back in 1981, people thought I was crazy. For the first few years, I had to give wings away. Imagine that. 40 years later, I'm still proud to serve the great people and visitors of Alabama our famous buffalo wings and much more. Here's to 40 years of legendary fun, legendary food, and many, many more.
Listen to Madison Academy football all season long.
And it is covered up by the Mustangs in the end zone. Touchdown Madison Academy. Touchdown Madison Academy.
On 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Welcome back, Thom Abraham Show. This segment of the show is brought to you by North Alabama Mortgage. For all your mortgage needs, it's North Alabama Mortgage. I bet if you needed a mortgage to, buy the new Titan Stadium, you could get one from North Alabama Mortgage. I don't know how much down you would have to put, but they would make sure that you got what you needed. But, I'll tell you what, Brian Hammaker and his team, it seems like they can solve whatever issues there are out there. And you want to be pre-approved. Before you go out and start looking at houses and properties, you want to be pre-approved. I'm telling you, there are places, now you can't even look at a house until you're pre-approved. I'm not talking about making an offer. I'm talking about there are places that they tell you, don't even call us to set up a viewing if you don't, if you're not pre-approved. North Alabama Mortgage will help you with that. Go to NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. All right, coming up next, John Forcade will join us from the Bayou. Get his take on this emerging LSU team. Is this real or what? Talk about that with John Forcade right here on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. A Russian court today, as expected, upheld the 9-year prison sentence handed to WNBA star and two-time Olympic gold medalist Brittany Griner for drug possession, rejecting her appeal. Griner was convicted in August after police said they found vape cartridges containing cannabis oil in her luggage at a Moscow airport. U.S. officials have said they haven't received what they consider to be a legitimate response from Russia to their offer for a prisoner swap involving Griner. Much like after the Monday Night Football loss, Patriots coach Bill Belichick today gave no hint to who his starting quarterback might be. When asked if Mac Jones is healthy, is he the starter? Belichick replied, "That's a hypothetical question. Let's see where that is and what that is." Jones played 3 series in his return from a high ankle sprain last night, then was replaced by rookie Bailey Zappi the remainder of the game.
Listen to the North Alabama High School Scoreboard Show, presented by Woody Anderson Ford, each Friday night on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Not looking or feeling your best? No energy for the things you like to do? Ready to look and feel younger? Make your appointment at Advanced Life Clinic, one of the region's foremost destinations for patients interested in looking and feeling their best. Specializing in advanced laser treatments and weight loss, male and female rejuvenation to offset the effects of aging, and more. See how Advanced Life Clinic can help you enjoy your life again. Call 256-882-6555 or log on advancedlifeclinic.com.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Showers and thunderstorms are going to be possible through the heart of Tuesday afternoon, early into Tuesday evening. Some of those thunderstorms could pack a bit of a punch. Looks like gusty winds going to be our primary concern across all of North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee. Before the showers and thunderstorms get to the area, temperatures should still be able to climb into the mid-70s. Line of thunderstorms is associated with a cold front that's going to drop our temperatures as we head into the middle part of the work week. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Your home of the Alabama Crimson Tide is 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Touchdown, Alabama! No look pass inside, but he got to go to the floor.
Your home of the Alabama Crimson Tide is 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You need to be more like a dog.
Like what you guys are doing. You've got your fingertip on the pulse of your listeners. You guys know what they're talking about.
Be a dog.
God bless the show. You are the Messiah.
We need more dogs.
This is the best show on radio.
The big dog, Thom Abraham, is here with you.
Hey, I see you. Hey, I see you, dog.
So settle in and get your bark on.
That's my dog!
Now live, here he is, the big dog.
Let's go, baby!
Thom Abraham.
How you doing? 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 How you doing?
Look, I don't speak Spanish.
I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to choose my words very carefully. I think you're a psycho.
Do you know who I am?
I mean, that guy sounds like El McPherson farting into Miles Davis' trumpet.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond? Get off my lawn. I have to drag my Yankee ass out of here.
And welcome back. Hour number 2 of the Thom Abraham Show. The segment of the show brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford for all of your service needs. It's Woody Anderson Ford. It's the only place that you need to go to get your vehicle serviced, whether it's a Ford or not. They can take care of you at Woody Anderson Ford. It is absolutely second to none. And don't forget that showroom. I mean, you got to go in there and just tour the showroom. It's like just go there and look at the showroom. And look at all of the beautiful pre-owned, gold certified pre-owned vehicles at Woody Anderson Ford as well. And you notice two of them in my driveway. My F-150 and my wife's convertible, Mustang convertible, are both from Woody Anderson Ford, and they were like brand new when we got them. They had under 35,000 miles on them, and they're going to last forever. That's just the way they roll. All right. By the way, before I forget this, and Grizz, maybe you can find some more detail on it, but the NFL has stated finally that the officials were not asking for an autograph of Mike Evans. I don't know what they were asking him to sign, but they do walk away from him after they asked him to sign whatever they asked him to sign. Card. Well, yeah, it looked like it was something like that. But whatever it is that they gave him to sign, they were not asking for an autograph. That's what their investigation has found. But I can't find exactly what it was they were asking asking him for. I don't know. All right, John Forcade, I'm sure, has been asked for his autograph numerous times. I don't know if ever by an official, but former Saints and Ole Miss quarterback, now covers LSU and the Saints and the SEC down in New Orleans, and he joins us on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. John, welcome back. How are you?
Hey, Tom. How you doing? Look, the only official autograph I gave was to a police officer when I was speeding, and I had to sign a ticket.
That was it? That was the only one?
That was it.
Is there, I mean, pull the curtain back for us a little bit. Is there a lot of communication that goes on between officials and players, or any fraternizing that goes on between officials and players? Because now that we're in this day and age of legalized sports gambling and all the fantasy stuff and everything else, you just wonder, about those relationships.
The only relationship you really have, to be honest with you, Tom, is day of the game, maybe before you go out in the field. You do chat with them during the game, but when the game's over, I've never seen anybody officially sit and talk with an official or do what he did. But, yeah, you could chat with him during the game, prior to the game. But, now, when the game's over with, weeks, days go by, I've never ran into an official ever. The only time I've seen the officials and socialized with them was when I was on the field.
As coaches, we always did that, right? You work the official a little bit beforehand, and you try to gain favor so that when that critical call comes, maybe he's taking that away. Do quarterbacks do the same thing with the white hat? You know what I mean? Do they kind of like you want to kind of buddy up to him a little bit just in case you take one into chops and you can get a favorable call?
the only official mostly the quarterbacks ever talked to is the white hat, the referee, because when I played, we never had the umpire behind us. It was only the referee. And, yeah, I got to, first name basis chat with him, tell him, did you see that or why you didn't call this? You're thinking there is some chatting. But, look, you don't have time to sit there and hold a 1-minute conversation with the guys when you only got 40 seconds to call a play and get the play from the sideline. So you'll chat. Like in between plays, you might make a comment. But you know what? It's all – I've done it. I've chatted with them. I've asked for, for this and that. Keep an eye on this and that. But, look, it goes over their heads as much as anybody.
Yeah, I'm thinking more about before the game. You know what I mean? Kind of buddy up to them a little bit before the game.
No. Before the only time they don't usually come on the field before the game at all. I mean, as you're coming through the tunnel, but when I'm leaving my locker room, there's no way around the locker room. There's no way around it. Before the game, when you're tossing the ball around in your pregame stuff, they're not even on the field. It's both teams out there doing their thing. The only time you're going to catch an official time is basically walking back to the locker room when they're walking out or anybody say hi to you. But that's about it.
If they had the targeting and the roughing the passer rules that they've got now, back when you were playing, would you still be playing?
I probably would, yeah. They just have to wheel me out in a wheelchair, but yeah, these little guys, and what Troy Aikman said about take the dresses off, I'm all for that.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous what they're doing now, and people get offended about it. But let me just say this. How did Dak Prescott get hurt? He didn't get slammed to the ground. He broke his finger, hitting the helmet.
Yeah.
How did Drew Brees against San Diego? Same thing.
Yeah.
How did the guy Carson Wentz do it the other day? There was no pound. And how the heck is the defensive lineman going to tackle somebody? Where's he going to fall to? What about the guys that are tackling in the middle of the field, running back or a receiver? They land on them. They're not calling that because of the body weight. It's BS. Get rid of it. You got to tackle a guy somewhere. Now, if you want to keep the going below the knees, okay, I can deal with that. But anything but above the knees, and they tackle you, you don't know how to tackle a guy. You're not sitting there, I got to slam my 355 pounds on him to get him out of the game. It doesn't work that way.
Well, I mean, Al Davis used to say the quarterback must go down, and he must go down hard. I think anytime you roll the head, I think a spear is a spear. It always they don't call spearing anymore; they call targeting now. But I mean, if a guy rolls the head and headhunts you as a quarterback, that should always have been, a penalty. Now you played during the in the grasp era, though, right? I mean, and that was tough because you were a fairly mobile quarterback. You were strong. You could get out of the grasp. I mean, how many times did you ever have a scenario where they blew the whistle and called the play dead, where you were still alive?
It does happen back the way it did happen back when I was playing, and I saw it years after, and then you don't hear it ever anymore. It's very seldom. I have seen it a couple of times. They let the play go on a little bit, and then they're going to call it when they feel like it's getting close enough that he might get hurt or whatever, the quarterback. But they eliminate all that, and because there are such running backs / quarterbacks in the NFL now, that they're going to let the play extend the play and see what he can do if he can get out of it. Because a lot of these guys, quarterbacks nowadays, they're bigger, stronger, and much quicker. They can get out of that, but you very seldom ever see it, if any.
All right, let's stick with the NFL for a minute before we get to the SEC and LSU and Ole Miss and so on. The Saints are 2-5. We've they got a revolving door with quarterback. I don't know what the story is with Jameis Winston. They gave him some money, but he's having a hard time staying healthy. You get the red rifle in there, and he throws 6 touchdown passes, 2 to the other team and 4 for his own team. It won my wife's fantasy game, though. That's good for her. I mean, she needed a backup quarterback because Jalen Hurts was on a bye, and she picked up Andy Dalton, and somehow, he goes for like 35 fantasy points. I don't know what the hell she was thinking, but and anyway, that worked out. But they're 2-5, and it looks like they're dead in the water to me. I mean, but look, it's a division where 3-4 leads the division, so they're only a game out of it. What I'm wondering is, Sean Payton's already making sounds about he'll be ready to come back next year to coaching. I don't know where the attractive jobs are in the NFL. You don't go to Carolina or Detroit. I don't know where there's a real attractive job. Did the Saints even talk to him before if he decides he wants to come back? Do they even entertain the idea that, hey, are you interested in coming back here?
Oh, we as a media people we haven't heard any of that comment. Only thing that people talk about down here, what happened with the Chargers right now is that's probably the number one landing spot if he comes back. If the Chargers don't make a playoff run, or they just so frustrated with this analytic-style coach over there because Peyton doesn't do that analytic. He might go for it every now and then, but he's not like this guy. Dallas would have been another landing spot, but you know who controls Dallas. So I don't think that's going to happen in Dallas. Carolina, but that would be a good spot for him because they're young, up aggressive. They got some talent. There's not much out there for him. The Saints, as far as him coming back to New Orleans, don't see it happening. He's been here, done it. There's no quarterback here for him to even rebound. He wasn't a Winston fan. I'm going to say that for a fact. He wasn't. You can say all you want. I don't think he was a big Winston fan. The situation here with New Orleans, they're one game out of first place when people talk about it. If Tampa Bay would have won, there'd have been 2 games, and maybe Tampa would have been the team to go after. But God Almighty, what is going on in the Southern Division, South Division, whatever you want to call it? It's just brutal.
Yeah.
And the Saints are one game sitting behind. If they can, it ain't just quarterback. Their defense has stunk this year. They get no rushing up front, no sacks, no pressure. DBs are just getting toasted, giving up big plays. The best player of the team is Warner, the linebacker. DeMarco Davis, he hasn't produced anything. On the offensive side of football, they're still struggling with the O-line time. Michael Thomas, it's time to trade him. What is wrong with him? 24 games he's been on this team and played in two games or whatever it was. The Cincinnati played in 2 games in the last 24.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous what this guy brings to the team. They got to package up him, ship him out for something, a bag of donuts or something. They got great receivers other than that. I mean, Jarvis Landry, he's supposed to be good. He goes down. The kid from Ohio State, Olave, he's really, really good. How about Alvin Kamara? Doesn't have a touchdown in 6 weeks.
It's crazy.
Explain that to me. I tell you, Pete Carmichael better be looking for a job at the end of this year because if he keeps this up, they got to make a move.
Well, it's the whole NFC, really. I mean, you look at the NFC East has 3. The NFC East is supposed to be the division where somebody wins it at 9-8. You know what I mean? And the NFC East has a 6-0 team in Philadelphia, a 6-1 team in the Giants, 5-2 team in Dallas. You got 5-1 team in Minnesota in the NFC North, and then the rest of the league is all 500. I mean, they're either just under 500, just over 500. Seattle is leading out west with a 4-3 record. I mean, we're almost to the halfway point of the season, and it seems like the whole NFC is a mess right now.
It is. If you have to look at it, you talk about everything you want to say about the San Francisco 49ers with their situation. Mike Shanahan, Kyle Shanahan, to me, is an average coach. I don't care if he went to the Super Bowl or not. You saw what he did in Atlanta. He choked on that one. Your boy McVay, he wins the Super Bowl in the Rams, and he's been stinking it up. They buy. You know how that works. You buy these players to win the championship now, and then after they leave and stuff, then you got issues. I mean, you got to look. You got to praise what Seattle's done with a backup quarterback who couldn't make it in the league for 8 years, and now he's playing well. Seattle's not that good, but they're leading the league. And then you got Arizona. Who knows what's going on there? Their head coach has got issues with their quarterback. You look around the league, the best team, Tom are all in the AFC, Buffalo, Cincinnati, and Kansas City. Who's going to beat them 3 from the NFC? Maybe Philadelphia, but let me say this about Philadelphia. They really haven't played with 1 winning team, maybe 2 winning teams already. Something's going to – it's a long year. They got a lot of games left.
Yeah.
The Giants, I'm not sold on the Giants just yet. The Cowboys could be good, but Dak Prescott hasn't shown me anything. They can't score points. I mean, God Almighty, it's just a mediocrity of teams this year. There's only 8 that you can pick from that's worth saying that they're good enough to win the Super Bowl. The rest are fighting for playoffs. I mean, for draft picks.
Yeah, I don't even know that there's 8. I mean, Buffalo is real. Kansas City continues to be a very good football team. Is there any team that is more hyped and any player more hyped than Justin Herbert and the Chargers? I mean, goodness gracious almighty, you touched on that, but good God.
I'm going to say the Chargers' problem is their head coach. Justin Herbert is he don't know what's going to be called. He don't know what's going on. They might call some weird stuff for him because this coach is not suitable enough to be an NFL head coach. I've watched him for 2 or 3 years, and some of the stuff he's done with that quarterback is really not effective enough to win in the NFL. Justin Herbert's a good quarterback. You know that as well as I do. Yeah, it's the head coach. That's the problem with this doggone in the NFL. They got a head coach who should not. Denver need to fire that guy yesterday. We know a bunch of Kingsbury is struggling in Arizona. He's got talent there. He's not doing very well. I can go on and on and on about players, but you said about 8 teams. All right, let's go. You got Buffalo, you got Cincinnati, you got Kansas City. You might could throw Miami in it if Tua plays like a couple games ago, but I'm not sold on Miami yet. And then you look in the NFC, it's Philadelphia, Minnesota, and you know what? I don't know what's going on with Green Bay. I don't even know what's going on with Tampa Bay. I think you got to know what Tampa Bay's problem is. It's Brady with that divorce or wife problem. But still in all, a lot of other players aren't playing for Tampa Bay. A lot of other players aren't playing well enough for Green Bay. It shouldn't be this way. You got coaches going off on the play calling, got a simplified thing. I mean, God Almighty, what is going on with the NFL with some of these teams that were supposed to be winning the divisions or being in the playoffs? It's only 7 weeks into the season. A lot of football left. I mean, if Tampa Bay goes on a 4 or 5 game win streak, if Green Bay does the same thing, then we're all shutting up because you win 4 or 5 games in a row in the NFL, that means you're pretty good.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. But, someday quarterbacks do get old, and that may be the case, with those guys. They may just have hit that wall. Yeah.
Indianapolis, they blamed everything on Carson Wentz when Frank Wright had stunk it up in Indy, and they got rid of Carson Wentz, and they blamed him for the way the team played at the end of the year. They go get Matt Ryan, and he got noodle arm. His arm's out of throwing he did for 15 years. He's done. In Indy now, where are they going? They don't even go to Nick Foles. They bypass him to go to the third quarterback out of Texas. And you're going to tell me you pass Nick Foles up for this cat? Well, they just go to show you.
Well, we don't. That tells you something about Foles. We don't know what they see in practice, but yes, Sam Ehlinger. Right. Those of you that didn't hear it, Sam Ehlinger taking over as quarterback in Indianapolis for the rest of the season. They said.
Right.
So Matt Ryan got 7 games. That was it. Done. 3-3-1. We're done with Matt Ryan. And by the way, so is Baker Mayfield done in Carolina. They said they're going with P.J. Walker. They got Sam Darnold, who was a second-round pick, a third-round pick, and Baker Mayfield, who was the first-round pick that same year. And they got P.J. Walker from the Houston Roughnecks of the XFL, right. And he's their quarterback for the rest of the year. They said, we don't care who's healthy, who's not. P.J. Walker is our quarterback now.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago, they ready to run P.J. Walker out of town when he stunk it up. When they played that game and got demolished, and he was so bad.
Yeah.
So they luck out at home. They beat Tampa Bay, which we all know Tampa Bay got their issues. And now P.J. Walker over Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield. You know what? That's BS. I mean, that guy Walker's not their answer. And you know what? Maybe they are playing. Like the Silver said in the NBA. Maybe they are tanking. The Panthers could be tanking to get a pick for that number 1 quarterback or that top quarterback or whatever they want to go for.
Yeah.
But the NFL is just unpredictable to even look at, unpredictable to even understand what's going on.
Well, I got to be honest with you. I didn't totally understand what was going on with Brian Kelly. I am not a Brian Kelly fan, but I'm eating a little bit of my words right now. It's 6-2 and 4-1 in the SEC, and look, I know they got road games at Arkansas and Texas A&M. They could lose both of those games. They could win both of those games. But they got Alabama coming in off of the bye, and they can be in the driver's seat for the SEC West. In fact, they're the only 2-loss team in the country, in my estimation, that has a clear path to the playoff. If they were to beat Alabama and Arkansas and Texas A&M and then go and beat Georgia or Tennessee in the SEC championship game, that's a 2-loss team that's going to the playoff. Now, that's not going to happen. I understand that. But they still, I never thought with 4 games to go, Brian Kelly would have his team in this position. Jaden Daniels looks like the real deal at quarterback. What's your take on them now, 8 games in?
Well, after watching the Tennessee game, I said to myself, God Almighty, this quarterback's not very good. They got problems. I wasn't a Brian Kelly fan at first. I'm the same as you. I had to eat my words. I thought he was a good coach. Don't get me wrong. He did a good job at Notre Dame. But going into the SEC, I didn't know if he was going to get the right players. But let me just say this. He already had some good players on this roster. He just coached them up, and that's the big difference. They got coached up. Daniels, when he first started out, I was like, this guy's nuts for the Lamar Jackson, run all over the place every now and then, complete a pass. But I think Kelly, being from down here and watching and seeing and hearing the comments, he got in Daniels' ear, and he chewed him out. And he explained to him, how you going to play quarterback. This is what you need to do. And the guy has changed. Daniels has changed. Now, all that being said, Tom, Auburn, they should have lost to Auburn. They didn't. They played 60 minutes. They won the football game. Ole Miss is not the 7th best team in the country by no way, shape, or form. Lane Kiffin, he'll win his 8-9 games and go to the Birmingham Bowl or whatever, something like that. That's my take on.
Oh, they're better than that. Come on, they're better than that. He's still going to win 10 games, won't he?
No way. They have no defense. Their philosophy on defense is a joke. Rush 3 and drop everybody in the country. It's ridiculous. They give it up. They don't play man-to-man. But back to LSU. LSU, first half, I said, oh, my God, this is going to be another win for Ole Miss. And maybe I was wrong about 7th in the country. They came out in the second half. They made adjustments, and they took it to Ole Miss. And the kid Daniels threw the ball well. But then again, you and me can sit back there with Ole Miss dropping back to the other county and let them catch 8 and 9 yard routes and running for 15 or 20 yards. And then they don't rush the quarterback. They rush 3. And Daniel said, well, I'll just go ahead and take off with my athletic ability and make plays with my feet. And that's the big difference. I like where LSU stands at, but you're right. Going to Arkansas, A&M, Alabama coming in, it's not going to be easy. They got a good outside chance. I got them winning probably 10 games, maybe 9 games, but I can see them losing a couple more.
Well, if they win 10 games, that means that they beat Alabama because they're at 6-2 right now. So if Alabama's not helping them, the way all the mistakes, 17 penalties, and all the stuff that they did at Neyland Stadium, I don't want to take away from Tennessee, but they did make 17 penalties and missed field goal that would have put them up with 10 seconds, 15 seconds to go in the game. But if Alabama's not making a mistake, if the Alabama's playing their game and LSU is playing their game, all right, all things are equal. How does LSU beat Alabama? Can they beat Alabama if neither team is making mistakes?
Well, one thing is fact you're playing in Baton Rouge, and that's a big plus for LSU.
It's been a problem for Alabama too for the last 2 years playing on the road.
Right, but look, Alabama's got Nick Saban, Alabama's got Bryce Young, Alabama's got a pretty good team. LSU still hasn't. Let me say this: the teams they really beat, Ole Miss is not 7th in the country. Auburn is horrible. Tennessee took it to him. Southern don't really count. The Florida State game, that's the first game. That's like a year ago. You don't remember it. So basically, their toughest schedules are all coming up, and they could be beaten up by the time they play Alabama with some injuries here and there. Whoever's the healthiest going in here, if Bryce Young is healthy, and Alabama's offense, you got to get the ball to the running back, and they can run on LSU. But LSU is going to be tough at home. I still got Alabama winning the game. I mean, I see LSU and what they have done, but this is Alabama coming in. And I think Nick Saban, you know how Alabama plays after they lose one ball game. Nick Saban gets on them, and I guarantee you, look what they did to Mississippi State. It's embarrassing to Mississippi State to be able to even get 6 points. But I think Alabama going into Baton Rouge is the only down draw against playing against LSU. Alabama's the better team and should win that game.
Alabama's a 14.5-point favorite. That's too much. It just sounds like too much.
I think, being honest, I think Alabama can be. Look, Ole Miss jumped out 17-3. That's Alabama jumping out 7-3. They're not coming back on Alabama. Mm-hmm. That's a big difference. I think Alabama's got a better overall team, and I think the loss that happened to Tennessee, which they could have won a game. And my question to you is, why did they throw 3 times at the end of the game in a Tennessee game when you could have ran the clock, get all the timeouts out? Even if you kicked and missed the field goal, they have no timeouts left.
Right.
I couldn't understand the play calling at the end of that game.
Well, I can't understand Bill O'Brien's play calling most of the time. Are you kidding me? Right. And then why defensively? Are they rushing 3 and letting Hendon Hooker stand back there, dropping 8, and they don't heat him up? Look, Bryce Young misses his last 2 passes on their drive for the field goal because Tennessee sent 6, and they only kept 5 in, so they heated him up. He made inaccurate passes his last 2 passes, but yet when Hendon Hooker went out there with 15 seconds and needing 38 yards or whatever he needed, they dropped 8 and didn't cover anybody back there and got no pressure. You can't let these quarterbacks stand around like Mississippi State did, just let them stand there until somebody gets open.
You play prevent, you drop back in the zone, and you let these guys catch under. They want to catch underneath, tackle them, the clock run. Well, guess what? Clock stops after every first down. Right. You can regroup. But you can't do it. You put pressure on the quarterback. The first thing a quarterback notices, and I've been there, they're bringing blitz and stuff. You got to still throw the ball quick because you don't have enough guys to protect. Even if you throw it quick, the guy catches it underneath, okay, and you run and tackle him. But at least that quarterback knows they might be bringing blitz. It got him thinking. But if I look at the line of scrimmage, I'm seeing only 3 guys, and linebackers are 6 yards deep. And they said, well, they're giving me time to throw. I got time to throw. And you can get the zone. That was a bad defensive scheme, but I just couldn't understand what his thinking was right before they kicked the field goal. Pass.
No,
It's unbelievable.
I agree. All right, as always, it's a pleasure. John, we appreciate you so much, and we'll look forward to talking again here before we get to the end of the season, that's for sure.
All right, Tom, have a good happy Halloween. Tell the wife, Allie, and everybody I said hello.
All right, man. Appreciate you.
Bye-bye.
John Forcade. Good friend. So, Grizz, all they're saying is that the officials were not asking Mike Evans for an autograph. We all see the video.
Yeah.
He does call to him, and he does hand him what looks like maybe the card, that they use with the captain's card and things like that.
Yeah.
And he hands him a pen, and then he walks away from him. I think you got to tell us something else. I think in the name of consistency and transparency. So what was he doing? You know what I mean? I mean, they're not saying anything.
Even
I can't find anything, right? They're not saying anything.
Even ESPN doesn't say anything about it.
So did the league hasn't explained what it was he was doing. So, okay, I'm glad that you cleared it up that he wasn't asking for an autograph.
Right.
So tell me, what was he asking for? What were they doing? Oh, that's what they do. They have to have a captain sign the card at the end. You know what I mean? Because Mike Evans, one of the captains. Maybe you have to have a captain sign something, or at the end of the I don't know. That's the whole point. And that is something we should know. That isn't something we want to know but don't need to know. That is something we need to know, I believe, for transparency's sake. All right, let's get a break. When we come back, we've got a Tuesday Top 10 for you. We're going to talk about some playoffs and what would the 12-team playoff look like. Remember, next week at this time, we will get the first iteration of the college football playoff poll, okay? But what if they were doing 12? Because they came up with this thing to do 12, and they told us what 12 was going to look like and how they were going to pick 12. But now I want to know, let's put it into practical use. What would it look like? I'll explain next, right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
College football, Alabama on a bye week ahead of a top 20 matchup with LSU in Baton Rouge on November 5th. Auburn hosting Arkansas this weekend. The Tigers a 4-point home underdog. Week 8 in the NFL, the Saints 2-point underdogs at home against the Raiders Sunday. The Falcons, meanwhile, hosting the Panthers. Atlanta a 5-point home favorite. The World Series underway Friday in Houston. Game 1 between the Phillies and Astros. Odds for Game 1 currently have Houston at -170 on the money line. Philadelphia +143, 6.5 the over-under. No official announcement about starting pitchers as of Monday. Red Hot winning picks at experts.winnersandwiners.com. Save 75% on any best bet package with the promo code ACTION75. That's ACTION75 at experts.winnersandwiners.com.
I'm Trey Westerberg, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
This is Attorney Tommy Sinyard on behalf of Sinyard Law, and again, proud to be a sponsor of all things football here on ESPN Radio. My son Bart and I started our own law firm July 1 and are very proud and excited to be bringing you our 50 years of collective national award-winning injury trial law experience. Check us out on the web, sinyardlaw.com.
Sinyard Law, nationally recognized, locally respected.
Great food and the best live entertainment is what it's all about at the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. Head to downtown Huntsville every Tuesday for karaoke on the only outdoor karaoke stage in North Alabama. Thursday night is the Valley's longest running and biggest bike night. Food and drink specials, giveaways, and live music on the patio. And the Furniture Factory menu is fully loaded with options from steaks to salads, plus a whole lot more. Featuring a weekday happy hour that starts at 3. 619 Meridian Street, downtown Huntsville, and online at FurnitureFactoryBarGrill.com.
Are you in the market for a recreational vehicle? Do you want to get out and see more of this beautiful country? Well, imagine hearing the laughter of your little ones enjoying gooey s'mores by a cozy campfire and making lasting memories with your friends and family from the comfort of a new camper. We can make your dreams come true at Hall's RV. With over 15 years in the camping business, we know how to get our customers into the perfect camper. We have several models and floor plans here for you to choose from, both new and used. We're family owned and operated with fantastic deals and great service. Everyone wants to work with people they can trust, so come on down to Hall's RV and get the deal of a lifetime. We'll treat you right and get you on the road in the camper of your dreams. Visit us on Highway 431 in Albertville. Hall's RVs, where we sell fun. Or see us on the web at www.hallsrvsales.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, whether you want to believe it or not, the holidays are upon us. It is time to start thinking about the important things like, hey, what's on the menu this year? It is time to pre-order your honey glazed ham or turkey from Apple Lane. Let's get honey glazed for the holidays and make the holidays even sweeter with our award-winning banana pudding.
That's right.
Let us help make this year's holiday just so much easier. Apple Lane, come see us in Decatur, Alabama on the Beltline.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
This is Wes Neighbors talking to Chris Haygood of Bob Wallace Appliance. Chris, what sets you apart from other appliance dealerships?
Wes, these appliances are going into the most used room in your house, your kitchen. The way we have these appliances displayed, it's easy for you to visualize how they'll look in your home. Wes, what sets us apart is the people. They're well trained. In fact, they live and breathe these appliances. And if you need service, you'll really appreciate our parts department.
Contact Bob Wallace Appliance at 256-533-2121.
TOC Sports has been there for you. Now, you're probably asking yourself, what does that mean? It means for more than 20 years, Alabama's largest orthopedic group has been there providing coverage and care to more schools and student athletes in the Tennessee Valley than any other group. It means whether you are the star football player, the all-region volleyball ace, or someone who hurt their knee in a weekend pickup basketball game, TOC Sports physicians are proud to have the opportunity to care for all your orthopedic needs. It means for parents, coaches, athletes, desk jockeys, or even weekend warriors, TOC Sports physicians continue to meet and exceed the orthopedic and sports medicine needs of our community. But most importantly, during these challenging times, we're here for you now, and will continue to be here. So as long as there are players on the field, games to be played, and contests to be won, the orthopedic specialists from TOC Sports will be ready to help. We don't know what the future holds, but you can count on the TOC Sports team to stay committed to you, so you can stay in the game. Call 256-539-2728 today and ask to see a TOC Sports physician. Check them out online, also Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Chapman Commercial Realty, your source for Alabama commercial real estate. Chapman Commercial Realty has the experience and expertise you're looking for when making commercial real estate decisions. If it's office space, retail space, investment property, or project development, Chapman Commercial Realty is your answer. Call Bill Chapman today at 256-656-8413. That's 256-656-8413. Or find them online at ChapmanCommercialRealty.com.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A fantastic Saturday across North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 70s. A fair amount of sunshine as well. Dropping into the upper 40s and lower 50s as we head into the overnight, early into your Sunday morning. Once again, climbing into the mid and upper 70s through Sunday afternoon. Plenty of sunshine. Dropping into the lower 50s through the overnight, early Monday morning. Plenty of sunshine Monday afternoon. We're actually going to be pushing 80 degrees. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Online at 977ESPN.com.
Stream them online.
Call in.
It's an important job, and it's an vital organization.
Tweet in and join in. We are 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Chuck Oliver. Listen to me coming up today at noon. Now back to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
All right, phone lines go open now. If you want to jump in, you can do it. This segment of the show is brought to you by the Orthopedic Center for all your injury needs. It's the Orthopedic Center. Doesn't matter how you got hurt. The Orthopedic Center has the answer for you. Check out the Orthopedic Center when you need them. They are there. They got locations all over the valley. I mean, it's just it's tremendous, and they have specialists for every part of your body. You know, whether you hurt your elbow, you hurt your arm, your shoulder, whatever it is, your leg, your knee, they can take care of you. And of course, the after-hours clinic remains open for after every Friday night. After the Friday night football for athletes, and hopefully nobody has to use it. But if you do, they're there for you, the Orthopedic Center. All right. Grizz, I got to change it. I got to change this daytime porn that is on once the soap operas start.
You know what? Soap opera. That's why I leave it on 38, and Steve changes it every time because 38 either has like Storage Wars or Walker Texas Ranger.
I just want sports in the studio. That's
well, you can only get it on the top TV unless you get. I mean, we only have local on the bottom.
What do you think if I hit this thing? Which TV would turn off?
Whichever the Fire Stick is, you can get the top one. The Fire Stick is the top one, and then the bottom one you're just going to do local.
No, I understand. I'm saying if I hit the button on this, which TV is going to turn off?
Oh, probably both. Probably both of them. They can turn off both.
By the way, text regarding our conversation with Justin Ferguson. Grumpy said, Ferg said Hughes' name didn't come up until recently. Where has he been? Hughes' name was knocked around before Harson's and would have gotten Hugh if his shelf life had been served, if he had done his time. Bring him on now. Prostitutes on the wrong card. It was the wrong phone, right? It wasn't the wrong card. He didn't buy him. He was calling him. He had him in his Ole Miss phone. He says, who cares? Not me. No, he wasn't talking about the fact that Hughes, what he's saying is that once they hired Harsin, he knows that Hugh Freeze was in the mix back then and was toxic at that point in time. They hired Harsin, but since in the last year, and Tom Luganville said the same thing, in the last year, it seems like Hugh Freeze's name had cooled off, no pun intended, with a lot of places. But I'm wondering whether or not Hugh Freeze's name is heating up again, based on the fact that they're 7-1 and just beat the snot out of BYU, and their only loss is a 1-point loss to Wake Forest. I think the guy's scummy. I wouldn't want him around. I think he's a character issue. You say, who cares? I care. I care that he had that, and this is the thing. I don't care if he has a bunch of prostitutes' phone numbers in his phone. What I care about is that Hugh Freeze preached the word. Hugh Freeze went around, running around telling everybody about what a great Christian he was. Hugh Freeze went around telling his team about how they were going to do things the right way, in the Christian way, and put himself up there and out there as a faithful man, as a believer. And he used that in his recruiting. And when he went to people's homes and talked to them about how he was that your child will be in a Christian environment, he put the Lord out there. And then he has prostitutes' numbers in his phone. You see what I'm saying? That's my issue. If you don't tell me you're a believer, and then have prostitutes' numbers in your phone. Okay? If you're going to talk the talk, walk the walk. And that dude talks the talk a lot. A lot. And then where's he end up? He ends up at Liberty, at Jerry Falwell's school. Now, I also believe in forgiveness. I believe in second chances. Is he a new man? Did he turn away from that sin? Did he turn away from that wrong? The wrong, again, not being as much the fact that he had these prostitute numbers in his phone, the fact that he was talking the talk and wasn't walking the walk. That's the bigger sin to me. But all sin is forgivable. So, does he deserve a second chance? I would say, probably yes. He probably does in that particular case. All right, we're getting ready to get a college football playoff poll, the 9th iteration of the college football playoff this year. Give me that top 10 music.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's the Tuesday Top 10.
So how many teams have ever played in a college football playoff game? There's been, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 teams. 13 teams have made an appearance in the college football playoff. Remember Washington against Alabama in the Peach Bowl. Was at that game. And Alabama handled Washington pretty easily in that game. Wolverine Dan every day this week will call us and talk to us about the Wolverines taking out Little Brother. Well, guess what? Little Brother and Big Brother have both been in the playoff exactly the same number of times. And you know what? They both got spanked by SEC teams. Michigan State got beat, 38-0 by Alabama. And Michigan got beat something like 35-7 or something. I mean, they got destroyed.
And Ohio State got blanked too. There's only been two.
Yeah,
they're the only two teams that have been blanked.
Yeah, right. And Big Ten teams. But both Michigan and Michigan State got hammered in their one shot in there. Florida State got one shot in there. They got beat by Oregon. Cincinnati, they let them go and play because, we have to be, we got to let everybody get a shot. So they let Cincinnati go play. They got hammered. Oregon is 1-1 in their 2 appearances. Notre Dame has been there twice, another Big Ten team. I mean, let's be honest, right? Notre Dame. Look, let's be brutally honest. Notre Dame, Cincinnati, Michigan, Michigan State, those are all Big Ten teams. They're all from the Big Ten footprint. They've all lost every game they've played in the playoff. Every single one of them. The only Big Ten team that's ever won a game is Ohio State. LSU, it feels like LSU has been to more. Thank you. He turned off the daytime porn. It feels like, he's recording it, though, for later for himself. It feels like LSU has been to the playoff more than twice, doesn't it? LSU's only been to the tournament twice. And, of course, they are, they won the one national championship in it. Georgia has been 4 times. Oklahoma has been 4 times. What's Oklahoma's record? 0-4. Ohio State's been 6 times. They're 3-3. Clemson with 1 national championship. Clemson has been 10 times. They're 6-4 with 2 national championships. And Alabama has played in 13 games. Not 10 times, 10 games. Alabama's played 13 games in the playoff. They're 9-4 in their 13 games with 3 national championships, 2015, 17, and 2020. So there you go. That is your Tuesday top 10.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
It's the Tuesday top 10. All right, Chris, so let's take a look at the 12-team playoff. This is the way it works. People are confused still, and they will be confused until it happens in 2026 or hopefully 2025. But the 12-team playoff is going to be made up of the 6 conference champions ranked highest by the committee. Now, here it is. With no minimum ranking requirement. No minimum ranking requirement. The 6 highest conference.
So they could be like 24th.
Exactly. So if you had the SEC, ACC, Big 10, Big 12, Sun Belt, and American all represented, then the Pac-12 would be out. If you happen to have that year, like you did, the COVID year was stupid.
Yeah, okay,
It was dumb.
Yeah.
But you remember Coastal Carolina and Cincinnati were both ranked higher than Oregon. But they only played 5 games in the Pac-12. That's not going to – I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah.
But so it's the 6 conference champions, as if there are 6 conferences that are equal. That's the misnomer in this, that there are 6 equal conferences that deserve to be on equal footing. In other words, the highest ranked group of 5 conference team champion is going to go to the playoff along with the Power 5 conference teams. All right? So this is what it would look like right now. And then you take the 6 highest ranked teams that are not conference champions. So right now we'll take the chalk, okay? This is what it would look like. We'll say that Georgia's the conference champion because they're the chalk. They're the highest ranked team in the SEC. And they're 11-point favorite over Tennessee in a couple of weeks. So Georgia would be in. Ohio State would be in from the Big Ten. Oregon would be in as the Pac-12 champion. TCU, which is the number 1 team right now out of the Big 12. TCU would be in. And Clemson would be in from the ACC. And number 20, Cincinnati. Number 20, Cincinnati gets in, along with the other Power 5
Okay.
conference champs.
I see what you're
That's
saying.
what you
Yeah.
got right now.
Yeah.
The 6 at-large teams would then be Tennessee. These are the next highest-ranked teams that aren't a conference champ. Tennessee, Michigan, Alabama, Oklahoma State, and number 10, USC.
It's a nice little playoff.
Except for this. There are 9 teams that are ranked ahead of Cincinnati that would be left out. I'm not 100% sure that's the way to go.
Yeah.
I mean, what you're doing is you're telling these other people that you're telling UCLA and Penn State and Utah and Ole Miss and Syracuse and Illinois and LSU and Kentucky, you're telling all of those people who are ranked higher, if Kentucky plays Cincinnati tomorrow, Kentucky beats Cincinnati. But Cincinnati gets to go to the playoff. Now, here it's going to get even worse, and I'll tell you why. When 2025 rolls around, or even 2026, but let's be hopeful and say 2025, where is Cincinnati going to be and where is UCF going to be? They're going to be in the Big 12.
Yeah.
So now they're in the mix with other Big 12 teams, okay? So that means there's still some other team that is not, like this year, you'd have to go to Tulane at 23.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that, yeah.
It would be Tulane. Let's put Cincinnati in the Big 12. And now Tulane is the team that is in there. There's only 2 teams in the top 25 that are G5 teams, group of 5 teams. And those only 2 teams are Cincinnati and Tulane. And Cincinnati's going to be a Power 5 team. Am I missing somebody? No, I'm not missing anybody. That's it. Those are the only 2 teams. I'll go a step further. With Cincinnati out of the mix and Tulane at 23, with Cincinnati and UCF in the Big 12, there are going to be years, and it could be the first year, where the 6th highest ranked conference champion is not even a top 25 team. Because this says the 12-team playoff will be made up of the 6 conference champions ranked highest by the committee with no minimum ranking required. Come on. This is what Phillip wants? I mean, the Power 5s, yeah. I'm good with that. Power 5, you win a Power 5 conference, you're in the playoffs. You win a Power 5 conference, you're in the playoffs. I don't understand why you can't take the Power 5 champions and the next highest, the 7 highest ranked teams. Why did you have to say 6 conferences? You had to say 6 conferences because that was the only way to get the other 5 conferences involved and have them agree on this. That was the only way. Because if you said the top 5 and then the next 7 highest ranked teams, well, then you would be all the way down to 12 UCLA. You'd have Wake Forest would be in there. USC would be in there. Oklahoma State would be in there. Oregon would be in as a champ. TCU would be in as a champ. Alabama would be in. Michigan would be in. Tennessee would be in. You would have a legit field. But you're going to screw somebody over by saying we're going to take 6 conference champs. It's BS. Sometimes you got to apply it. Sometimes you got to apply what's actually happening. You come up with a plan that sounds really good because you've had some good teams in Cincinnati and UCF and things like that. But when you actually apply it, and then who knows if even Tulane would be ranked by the...
Good to see a Sun Belt or a Conference USA team make the playoff.
I disagree. I mean, it would if they were in the top 12. Then I'd be happy with it. But you know what? The committee is it's going to be even worse because the committee knows. The committee's not the AP and the coach.
Yeah.
The committee knows. The committee might not have any G5s in the top 25. We get a break, come back, and wrap it up next. It's the Thom Abraham Show, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Hi, everybody. Eli Gold here. Right now, indoor air quality occupies top-of-mind awareness for families and business owners. Rick Smith and the trusted professionals at Environmental Comfort Systems can take care of your indoor air quality concerns with their state-of-the-art indoor air quality solutions. Environmental Comfort's indoor air quality systems remove 99.9% of airborne contaminants so you and your family can breathe clean, fresh air. If anyone in your family suffers from allergies, or if you just want the security of knowing the air you breathe inside your home is free from viruses, bacteria, pet dander, dust, and odors, Environmental Comfort Systems are the professionals to call. Environmental Comfort also carries state-of-the-art, high-efficiency comfort systems that increase home comfort, keep humidity in check, and help you save money on your energy bills. Give my friend Rick a call or visit them online at envcomfort.com and breathe cleaner air today. Environmental Comfort Systems, Alabama license number 92314.
This is Wes Neighbors talking to Chris Haygood of Bob Wallace Appliance. Chris, what sets you apart from other appliance dealerships?
Wes, these appliances are going into the most used room in your house, your kitchen. The way we have these appliances displayed, it's easy for you to visualize how they'll look in your home. Wes, what sets us apart is the people. They're well trained. In fact, they live and breathe these appliances. And if you need service, you'll really appreciate our parts department.
Contact Bob Wallace Appliance at 256-533-2121.
At Bryant Bank, we believe your goals are worth chasing, and every step along the way is worth celebrating. From your hopes for the future to the challenges that keep you up at night, we're here for you. Bryant bankers put care into action to help you live legendary by stepping up when you need us most and doing what's right even when no one is watching. Come experience a local bank whose people greet you by name and treat you like family. Bryant Bank, member FDIC.
Not looking or feeling your best? No energy for the things you like to do? Ready to look and feel younger? Make your appointment at Advanced Life Clinic, one of the region's foremost destinations for patients interested in looking and feeling their best. Specializing in advanced laser treatments and weight loss, male and female rejuvenation to offset the effects of aging, and more. See how Advanced Life Clinic can help you enjoy your life again. Call 256-882-6555 or log on advancedlifeclinic.com.
If you're ready to lower your utility bills, it's time to call Eagle Insulation. Eagle can handle it all. Attic re-insulation, insulation removal, wall insulation, and new construction insulation, commercial and residential. Our primary goal is to save you money, and lots of it. Typical clients realize their return on investment within 3 to 6 months. That means the re-insulation actually pays for itself and then some. See if we can help you. Contact Eagle Insulation today, 256-755-1556, or log on insulatewitheagle.com.
Isn't the story of the prodigal son an amazing story? Basically, a rowdy boy who literally wished his father dead ran away and consumed his wealth with hard and fast living. Yet the father looked for his return every day, and when the boy got tired of eating pig slop, he decided to return. What did the father do? As soon as he saw that boy, he ran to him, threw his arms around him, and killed the fatted calf for a great celebration. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of the Cross Point Church. If you're looking for a church home, come see us, smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison.
Hi, everybody. Eli Gold here. Right now, indoor air quality occupies top-of-mind awareness for families and business owners. Rick Smith and the trusted professionals at Environmental Comfort Systems can take care of your indoor air quality concerns with their state-of-the-art indoor air quality solutions. Environmental Comfort's indoor air quality systems remove 99.9% of airborne contaminants so you and your family can breathe clean, fresh air. If anyone in your family suffers from allergies, or if you just want the security of knowing the air you breathe inside your home is free from viruses, bacteria, pet dander, dust, and odors, Environmental Comfort Systems are the professionals to call. Environmental Comfort also carries state-of-the-art, high-efficiency comfort systems that increase home comfort, keep humidity in check, and help you save money on your energy bills. Give my friend Rick a call or visit them online at envcomfort.com and breathe cleaner air today. Environmental Comfort Systems, Alabama license number 92314.
Southeastern Conference Commissioner Greg Sankey is coming to the Huntsville Museum of Art on Thursday, November 10th. He will sit with Abraham Madcore, the executive editor of Sports Business Journal, for an interview about issues in college football, such as conference realignment, playoff expansion, and name, image, and likeness. This event is part of the museum's Voices of Our Times series, dedicated to bringing in experts in the arts, entertainment, politics, and sports. For more information, visit hsvmuseum.org.
The anthem today is brought to you by me. I want to thank John Forcade, who came out and talked about LSU and the Saints and Ole Miss. He's really down on Ole Miss. I mean, he's like, Ole Miss is going to win 8 games this year. I don't know. Ole Miss is going to lose. What are they, 6-1 now? 7-1? They're at Texas A&M. They could lose this week. The Texas A&M is such an enigma. You just don't know what the hell you're going to get out of them. They're not going to lose the Iron Bowl. And I want to thank Justin Ferguson, who was in today as well, talking some Auburn. I tried to give him a softball and said, can Auburn win 2 of the last 4 SEC games? He said it would be a miracle if they won 1.
He tells it like it is.
He told it like it is. He says, yeah, that would be a miracle. All right, coming up next, it's the Chuck Oliver Show, then Paul Feinbaum, then head on down to the Furniture Factory for Pedro's birthday, or whoever it is, birthday, with Steve and Wes on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Phil Penny